Hello, my name is Mark and welcome to I'm Organic Gardening. Now today we're going to give you an update of how the potato boxes are working that we planted our potatoes in, and we're also going to go over how to protect them from the striped Colorado potato beetle. But first let's talk about the cardboard boxes. They're doing extremely well. So it's been about, let's say, 4 weeks, almost 28 days that we've had these cardboard boxes out here, and they're surviving the elements, and a lot of people are concerned about that, but you can see, and we'll do a close-up of them, so you can see that they're doing extremely well in this harsh environment that's been really going on. In that, let's say, last 4 weeks that they've been out here, it's been raining most about, let's say, 80% of the time, and extremely windy. So it's a good test for these cardboard boxes, and they're doing extremely well. So let's get a close-up of that, and then we'll start kind of going over the insect netting. There's two types that we can use, and also that we can let's say get advice from other people in the comments that they've used these things before, and just read the comments and you can make a decision on your own which one you would like to purchase. And you don't have to purchase either one of them. You can just normally just pick off the insects that are on there and crush them with your fingers, or drop them in the soapy water or into a plastic bag and throw them out. The cheapest way, because the netting is expensive, but if you don't have a lot of time to go in the garden and you want a good crop of potatoes, because that striped Colorado potato beetle will eat those leaves and eat those stems very quickly once they multiply coming out of the egg stage. So let's get a close-up of the boxes and see how we're doing. So in the last video I put the initial box out there that I showed you, then I came back like a day or two later and put the other 4 boxes down and filled them up with soil and worm castings, and they're all looking good. And you can see here that they are dulling out what they should be doing, but they are all in great shape, due to all that extreme weather that we've been having lately, about all the rain about 80% of the time, and they're doing extremely well. And here I'm going to let's go into their first box that we planted up, and I want to see if that one stem is growing from that one shoot here that we originally, or sprout that we originally had on that potato that we put in the box. So let's dig in the soil here and see what's going on. So here we are looking in the top of the box, and there's about 4 inches of soil and some leaves on top here to protect from the moisture going away. So let's go down here. Oh, it's right there already. Look at that. Right close to leaves. Look at that. Let's see if we can get a better shot for you. You can see here our nice potato stem and leaves that have come through the 4 inches of soil already, and it's growing extremely well. So, and again, we only had one eye on that potato, so we should only get one stem coming here. Now let's go to that other potato we planted. I don't want to break the stem off. There we go. Oh, there it is. Right there. Perfect. If you can see by my finger, but let's get also another close-up of that for you. There you go. You can see it right there. Nice. Nice strong stem trying to push out of the soil, and that will be up a little bit higher in, let's say, another week or so. Sorry, but I had to grab all the equipment. I'm standing in my garage right now, and so my equipment doesn't get wet. It is going to rain shortly. We're getting some fog coming in, and the humidity is about 90%. So again, this is our crazy weather this spring. So I'm going to do the rest of the video inside. There's going to be some other footage I shot outside that is, you can see that on the hoops. But I'm going to try to finish up this video, and let's go inside and talk about some of the insect netting and also a couple other things. This is our not so friendly Colorado potato beetle. You can see the stripes on it, giving its name. It's quite easy to see on your potato leaves. It's easy to spot. Again, you can pick these off and put them in a plastic bag. That's the cheapest way of doing it. And also I want to show you, once they mate, there is a male and a female, there is going to be eggs underneath the leaves of your potato plants, and they'll go into a larvae stage. So I'm going to show you the eggs first and then the larva stage. Now we're looking at those eggs that Colorado potato beetle laid. They do come in different colors. Sometimes there's this kind of color, and there's also, let's say, a darker orange color. Now, when these hatch, and they hatch pretty quickly after they've been applied to the bottom side of leaves, and this is, like it says, this is the bottom side of leaf. That's where you're going to be finding them all the time. So you have to inspect if you don't have any netting, and that's one of the advantages of the netting. You don't have to do an inspection, that these eggs will be underneath the leaves and you have to remove them, or you don't want to take the leaf off. You want to just crush those eggs, which is very time consuming. Now, after those eggs have hatched, this is the larvae that goes around. It's on a potato leaf and it will just start eating 24/7. They eat a lot in a small period of time. There's three things you have to look for in your potato plants. One is the striped Colorado potato beetle. Next is the eggs after they mate and lay all those legs underneath the leaves. And also when the eggs hatch, it's going to go into this larvae stage that's in front of you right now. And those baby Colorado potato beetles will start eating the plant very furiously. So here's something I want to share with you. This hoop design that I made, and I have a video on it, and I will also put that in the description, so if you wish to make it, you can. This is about 2 to 3 years old already. Now what's nice about this, you can put anything in there and then put your insect netting on top, or your tool, they call it. It's a fabric that's used sometimes to protect against insects in the garden. Now what's nice about this, like I mentioned before, it's a nice size. It doesn't weigh too much. It's 4 feet wide here and about 8 feet long. So it's nice, and it also has a nice height on it, which is very important, which I'll go more into that at the end of the video, and why it's so important to have the height and also the distance on the side. And now you can plant all kinds of stuff in there, but you just want to keep your growing material that's inside here, your crop, at least, let's say, 7 inches away from the side and the top. Here I am inside my house in my beautiful kitchen, and I want to talk about insect netting for potatoes. Now we have 2 different types. We have our regular standard insect netting, and I'll give you a close-up of a little bit about that. And I bought this on Amazon. And we also have something that a lot of people use. I'm sorry about the crinkling noise. It's called tulle. It's spelled T-U-L-L-E. Now it is a fabric that people use because it's low cost. And what's nice about this, and again, you get almost twice as much of the tulle than you do of your regular insect netting. But there's a huge disadvantage of it, and if you use it correctly, that disadvantage isn't a problem. But I want to show you the disadvantage to it. So between the insect netting and either or, they both cost about the same amount of money, but again, you're going to get double the amount of tulle lengthwise and a little bit more widthwise than you are going to be on the insect netting for the same price. So let's go over the insect netting first. Now the insect netting, and I'll pull this card out to show you here, and I'll give you a close-up of what the advantages are, and then I'll go into what tulle can do for you also too, underneath the same amount of price. Here's a card out of the insect netting, and again, ultra fine mesh, and this is the hole size. If you can see it, 0.04, and that's very important. I'll go over that later. It can let light in, water through, breathable, and insect control. But it's also UV resistant too, and that's also a very good part of having this, and it lasts a long time. It will last 3 to 4 years. The width on this that I bought is 8 feet wide and 24 feet long. You can see here, this is one layer of this insect netting, and you can see it's ultra fine and very small holes in it. Is at 0.04 for the hole size. And again, it's very durable. If you want to try to put your thumb through it, it's almost impossible to do. It's very thick. And what I want to tell you also about this, the insect netting, is that when you have to cover your plants and you're going to have to weight it down somehow, you're probably going to use bricks or rocks or 2x4s or anything. It's not going to rip as easily as a tulle. Now tulle, again, you said you get more for a cheaper price, but it rips very easily, and I'll show you. So let's go switch over to the tulle. So I also bought this on Amazon. You can see here, it's 54 inches wide and over 40 yards long, 120 feet. So basically the other one was 24 feet, and you can see the difference in length for the same price. But let's see how thin it is and the size of the holes, and also what's going to be important is how easy it stands up, because this is not made for really for insect netting. This is what people have been using because it's cheaper, but there is a huge disadvantage to this, and which I'm getting to shortly. Now hopefully you can see this, that the holes are quite larger. And let me just get a single layer here, which is this. So by my fingers, hopefully you can see that the hole sizes are larger. They don't tell you what the hole size is because, again, it's not really made for insect netting. Again, just people have been using it over time. Now, strength-wise, rips very easily. Now, can it hold up and people have been using it? Yes. But if you want to weigh it down by bricks and you get a strong wind, it's going to rip and then just blow away. Other people, well, God bless them, they've had good success with this. But again, it's the larger hole size and not as strong. Here I have a demonstration set up. This is my cardboard box that I'm imitating the cardboard box outside, and I have a house plant sitting in here representing my potato leaves or potato plant. Now we're going to cover this. I want to show you something very interesting and what you should not do. Now you want to put some kind of hoops over the plant. You never want to just take this tulle. This is that tulle fabric that really isn't insect netting, but again, people use it. Now if you have a tulle fabric here and the holes are larger and it's sitting on the leaf, actually the insect can still lay eggs through this hole onto the leaves. I've seen it happen on potato leaves that it happens with. I also see it on cabbage plants due to that little white butterfly. If you have a cabbage plant or broccoli or any kind of brassicas, that they can still actually sit on here because that tulle is sitting on the top of the plant and lay eggs through those holes openings. And that's why the other thing that you see, that insect netting, has a smaller hole so it doesn't happen. So keep that in mind. To prevent that, you gotta keep the fabric off the plant. You gotta have some kind of hoop system and weigh it down. You wanna keep it at least 7 inches away from that plant. You can see the size of the holes are much larger, so your Colorado potato beetle can still lay eggs through it, and also your white cabbage moth. I want to thank you very much for watching and protecting your potatoes in a container. Give this video a good thumbs up. It helps out my channel immensely. Again, ring the notification bell so you get to see my videos immediately when they come on YouTube. And I really appreciate all the comments. Please write comments. We will solve things. We'll make gardening as easy as possible for you. And again, gardening is beautiful. It helps you relax. And again, you have some delicious food as a reward. And it's nothing like a great harvest from your garden. And no matter what the size is, that freshness is just out of this world. So until the next video, happy gardening, and I will see you again shortly. Thank you.